जो अपने दिल का यार था वो गया तो सब गया। जो अपने दिल का यार था वो गया तो सब गया। अब दिल का खाना खराब है, बस बची है राख।
I returned a relieved man. I embraced these warts. I own this moment like a boss, but Siri, what's another word for loss?
कभी लिखते हुए रो देता था और पढ़कर जाता था हंस, making onlookers wonder, now what's all the fuss? छू जाए तेरे दिल को जो ऐसी आमद पे हो मेरी दस्तरस, छू जाए तेरे दिल को जो ऐसी आमद पे हो मेरी दस्तरस, and to it you lend a voice, could there be a bigger plus?
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of RawPods, Creative Thought and Expression, hosted by Rawanee. This episode is a recording of an event that we had in October last year. The theme of that event was To Myself, Conversations Through Time. And the poems that we have in this podcast are extracts from that event in which our members had recited original poetry written by themselves.
Siri, I guess it's just me. But if you can answer these questions, I'll throw in an upgrade for free. How do you explain weight loss when it's not planned? Financial ruin down to a grand. A recurring memory of a cat. I barely adopted a heartfelt conversation, but I stopped it. Random thoughts zigzag, white lines crisscross. Siri, what's another word for loss? Siri, I know it sounds crazy, but I went back in time to meet the younger me. We were both startled and disappointed, chanced at crossroads pre-appointed, silently acknowledging this wrinkle in time, varnish and lacquer, dust and grime. I returned a relieved man. I embraced these warts. I own this moment like a boss, but Siri, what's another word for loss? Siri, after a life of being dumbed down, I am finally being frowned upon. Every narrative is long drawn, every right is plain wrong. I mean, just look around you, it's all gone to the dogs. No one gives a toss. Decency and morality hang around necks like an albatross. Siri, seriously, what's another word for loss?
न मंजिल है न ख्वाब है, बस बची है राख। न मंजिल है न ख्वाब है, बस बची है राख। उतरा ये कैसा अजाब है, बस बची है राख। जो कलाम लिखा रद्द किया, जो धुन बनी गलत बनी। जो कलाम लिखा रद्द किया, जो धुन बनी गलत बनी। न सुरूर है न शराब है, बस बची है राख। शम्मे महफिल बुझ गई, परवाने सब उड़ गए। शम्मे महफिल बुझ गई, परवाने सब उड़ गए। बुझता हुआ दिले बेताब है, बस बची है राख। बुझता हुआ दिले बेताब है, बस बची है राख। उम्र भर उम्र भर जन्नत और दोज़ख के बाद ये जाना। उम्र भर जन्नत और दोज़ख के बाद ये जाना। न गुनाह रहा न सवाब है, बस बची है राख। उम्र भर जन्नत और दोज़ख के बाद ये जाना, न गुनाह रहा न सवाब है, बस बची है राख। वो चराग था ऐसा रोशन कि ज़िंदगी फ़िरोज़ा। वो चराग था ऐसा रोशन कि ज़िंदगी फ़िरोज़ा। वो चराग कब से गर्क़ आब है, बस बची है राख। ज़िंदगी मुँह छुपाए धीरे धीरे सुलग रही है। ज़िंदगी मुँह छुपाए धीरे धीरे सुलग रही है। ये आग बेलगाम है, बेहिजाब है, बस बची है राख। जो दोस्त थे बिखर गए, कब के दिल से उतर गए। जो दोस्त थे बिखर गए, कब के दिल से उतर गए। गर्मी महफिल है ना शबाब है, बस बची है राख। जो अपने दिल का यार था वो गया तो सब गया। जो अपने दिल का यार था वो गया तो सब गया। अब दिल का खाना खराब है, बस बची है राख। न मंजिल है न ख्वाब है, बस बची है राख, उतरा ये कैसा अजाब है, बस बची है राख.
Snowflake, life here you must love. A city most desired, artists here feel inspired, painted bright, but brush aside are marks of war, camouflage of trees, hidden misery, remnants of an industrial revolution from long, long before. Snowflake, at least pretend to smile, for back home boasts few such green miles. What you miss is hazy history. Now that place is not but a hotspot of misery. Time rolls on and you rush, but you miss the train yet again. Snowflake, don't complain. For 40 degrees here is better than 47 back home. But you recall a time of pleasant breeze, a life of ease, a silver spoon of care, no frills, no mad drill, retrospectively luxury. Snowflake, surrounding yourself with company from back home, polished, labeled, just right, brewing chai like how we're supposed to like. Aromas of arrogance, spoonfuls of ignorance, you sip with distaste. Joy you cannot fake. Your mind to the strangeness of it all is awake. Snowflake, you continue to seek what you once had, if ever really it was, never melting in the heat and never stopping frozen with cold. Free you roam, ever a rolling stone, lost snowflake, finding your way back home, destination unknown.
इस पढ़ने लिखने में गैर से बनी थी हम नफस. For oneness with you and words I was desirous. शेक्सपियर सा बनूंगा शायर, पढ़ेंगे लोग मुझी को बस. So I began versifying all emotions I experienced thus. कभी लिखते हुए रो देता था और पढ़कर जाता था हंस. Making onlookers wonder, now what's all the fuss? छू जाए तेरे दिल को जो, ऐसी आमद पे हो मेरी दस्तरस. छू जाए तेरे दिल को जो, ऐसी आमद पे हो मेरी दस्तरस. And to it you lend a voice. Could there be a bigger plus? अल्फाज हों तेरे लिए जो घोल दें कानों में रस. And each time they're heard, the world remembers us.
I sauntered where the reticent shadows lie. I looked through my horizons, heard whispers and sighs. I harked for the answers I assumed they might hide. The shadows were the monsters and the monsters were the voices, masked as thoughts of self-loath and vacillation, demolishing my leftover self-reliance. I endeavored to look past the trail of their murmurs, the thumps of their steps, the trace of their sneers, the derision wholly objected in my direction. Those sounds, all of them, were intrinsic, I realized. Inside my head they reside. With anger, those shadows sat allied and say, "Darling, you may lose this fight before you even die." Unbeknownst to them, I may commence my search to emancipate me from those monsters in my soul, untangle the threads of my mind from the voices it beholds.
Afraid to love, the shape of her curves, the hollow of her hand, the shadow of a smile, the crevice in her neck, I canvas at length, the welcome rhythm of a curious heart, frown lines exposed like a book without a cover. Isn't just life one damn thing after another? When she walks on air. Golden is the color of her flowing hair, kissed by a sun that doesn't care, touched by a thought laid bare. Afraid to love, I'm bold, but when push comes to shove, I'm just another lost soul running scared. You know, you've been there. Unhealthy coping mechanisms, stocking up on isms and schisms. The heart wants to belong. You offer a haven. Your empathy is strong. Your pulse is specific. Your world is warm. Afraid to love, an abject subject, committed to serve, You and all that makes you tick. I think I missed a trick. I spoke too soon, confessed too much. You are no stranger to the human touch. How does a stoic feel so much? You are firm and I can't dissuade you. This is not school. I'm not here to grade you. Beginnings are tentative, much to forget, much to forgive. Afraid to love, go on the offensive, call your bluff. You live inside my thoughts, and maybe that's enough. The spring in my step is yours to intercept. The words I say are yours to interpret.